welcome to Flory Models Daily Show. Here we're on Wednesday the 25th of May 2016, and a good day, really pushing on with the FW190. Done loads of work and literally just to the final stages of putting it together on this one. So the day started like this. Good morning, welcome to Flory Models. Here we are for our little daily vlog. Today is going to be working pretty much on the FW190. If I can, I want to get the pre-work done, pre-shading, things like that, onto the Osprey, because the Osprey, to be honest, as we know, spoke about it yesterday, is all painted, looking absolutely fantastic. It's not painted, it's primed, sorry. Use the micro primer, love it, no problem at all. A couple of things about that. Some of you were saying, isn't it just like exactly the same as AK's primer that we reviewed and everything, and things like that? Their normal one, or like Stone Res, things like that. No, this is a micro primer, which means that it doesn't have any sort of filling capabilities as such. It does very small stuff, but it's literally, it goes on extremely smooth. It's like milk. Very, very thin. Okay, so it's not going to do any sort of gap capabilities filling, but what it does do is actually give you a very nice surface job on your model. But it's not to be confused with the thicker acrylic type ones. This is a lacquer based one, everything else. Another question that came up yesterday was about display cases. Obviously you saw me panning around and saw display cases and things like that. These are the ones we are talking about, the ones all over the back there. You can see it's these. Okay, these are absolutely fantastic because they are, you know, very, very handy. They come in great because they're dust free as well. All right, so it's all of those. Now, those ones, I've got them up here, are made by Trumpeter. They are £17-ish, £18 each. Okay, the sizes are 316 by 276 millimeters by 136 millimeters tall. So you get a 1/48th aircraft in there, and the number for those is 09808. Now, Trumpeter do an entire range, anything from figures to ships, cars, you name it, all different shapes and sizes. The one thing I would recommend between you and me is wait until Creative Models in the UK have a sale, okay? Now, I picked those all up for a tenner. They were on sale a couple of weeks ago for a tenner again. I did it a while ago, but same thing, I bought 5, and I already had 2 here as well, and I've got another one sat down here, okay, and everything else like that. So it is well worth waiting for them to come out on sale. They do tend to come along every few weeks, they come out, and then you can grab a load. But as I say, £18 each. It's quite expensive for them if you're going to buy a load of them, but you wait for them to come on sale, you can grab yourself a bit of a bargain. Right, okay, so this morning, as I said, I'm going to be cracking on with the 190, and to be honest, this is how we all got on last night. So, camera plays ball. The microfiber on this stuff worked an absolute treat. Really do love it. Worked extremely well. Did all the harnesses. So these are the what they called, HGW, something like that. I can't remember. These guys, wherever it is. Oh god, I can't remember its thing now. There it is. This is the one we're using for this one. Okay, so they were doing the harnesses because it's got the mast set on the here. Okay, so it works out really well for it. But as you can see, these are the fabric ones. I need to roll them up and everything. Yeah, and I know the camera's not brilliant at focusing in really close up, but you can see putting all the harnesses in. And this one, I have to say, went together easier than the other ones did. Now, the other ones, to be honest, let's sit that down there. When we did them before, I've done them on a 48th one before, had trouble sliding them in all the brackets and all the bits and pieces. This one seemed to go in there an absolute treat, no problem at all. And if I remember rightly, when we did the Typhoon, the big one, the 24th scale one, had a few problems with it as well. Again, no problem with this one. It went together within, I don't know, it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours work to put these together nicely to get them all in, because you've got to glue various bits and get them in. The only downside to them is they don't have any colour on the back, so you can give them a little bit of buff or something, or another technique, because it's fabrics, to give them a washing tea, and they sort of darken up, or coffee, or anything else like that. So what I'm going to do is get some paint on this one. So we're going to come in with some Vallejo paints, get that painted over in the spray bay. Obviously you're going to be doing a lot of filming on this, and I want to get the cockpit pretty much together today and weathered in, so we're almost in a stage to finish it. Then we're going to crack on a little bit with the Osprey. I want to get the main paint on the Osprey and everything else like that. And to be honest, the airliner is basically done. In a bit of a conundrum, because I've got somebody who wants it, which I've said they can have it, but they don't want any pitot tubes and all the rest of it, because obviously they're only going to get broken off anyway, and they're worried about causing damage. But obviously from your point, you want to see it on there. So I'm going to put the satellite jobs on the top, and a couple of pitot tubes on there. We'll probably do it with PVA glue so they can come off if you want to take them off without making any damage, because don't forget that's had a coat of lacquer, and it's as hard as nail, so you shouldn't have any problem with it anyway. Anyway, come back a little bit later, probably about lunchtime, and hopefully we'll have this in paint, put together, weathered, and all the bits and pieces, and we can show you how we're getting on. Okay, so literally just finished filming this one. As I say, it's all to do with layers with this particular build, so we're trying to show you in depth about the weathering and going right the way through. But as I said, when you're talking layers, this one's had a primer, so it had that very nice, where have we done with it, moved it now, primer coat. Okay, then it came back in then with RLM 66. Okay, and then dry brushing. You don't want to just do dry brushing in like one colour, as I say. I always use quite darker colours. So we came in with two colours on there. So we had, starting off with RLM 75. Okay, and then we came in with the actual, where's the RLM colour on that? RLM 74 as the light grey down onto there. That gave us the basis for everything. Then we gave it washes, and again, we didn't just give it one wash. So we came in with a dark AK wash. Then we came in with a little bit of dust effects for gear, just to pop it around the floor. You can't really see it, but it's one of those things. It looks like texture and grooves and stuff like that. Okay, and then we came along, which is something that's coming into my very firm favourite, is the actual Vallejo metal colour stuff. Now, these are the acrylic ones. They are the present that keeps giving. One load of brush for dry brushing, scrub the hell out of it, has done everything on this. One of the things we have as modelers, especially you armour modelers, is trying to make plastic that's been painted, especially grey or any colour like that, look like metal. Okay, and that's something that this stuff does exceptionally well. In fact, it's so good, it's looking a little bit too metallish. So this is steel, which is one of my favourite colours. But generally it just makes everything look like it's worn, but not just like a dry brushing effect with silver on edges. It makes flat areas look like they've been polished a lot. So i.e. something running over them, hands, arms, people getting in and out. Doesn't just wear through for a chipping effect, but actually gives a warm metal look. So if I show you what I mean, hopefully the camera's going to play ball on this. But basically, if you can look down here, if I can get the camera to play, there we go. So as you can see, we've got all the layers in. We haven't put the instruments in yet, but this has just had the painted layers to go through and give us this type of look. And then hopefully you can see, like on this guy, you catch it in the light like that, you see what you get. Okay, which actually looks quite metally on camera. To be honest, it looks like grey, but very shiny grey, if you can imagine. But it looks absolutely fantastic. Happy with the seat cushion colour. To be honest, that was a little tiny bit of Tamiya or something or other. Deck tan or something. And again, been dry brush, washed in the same way as everything else. So I think by the time we get the harnesses fitted to this one and everything else will be absolutely fine. Okay, but generally I must admit the cockpit has gone together extremely well. No problems at all with it. And it is very much looking the part just like that. To be honest, I've had loads of deliveries in today, which has been... been chaos for filming wise. One of them that came in was this, which to be honest I got a big pack of it, but in here, if I can get it one out, is this. Now this is a little project which I'm going to share with you, probably more as a vloggy type thing than a full build, but this is acrylic sheet, 6mm. To be honest, it's a bit thicker than I thought, but it should be, we can peel this off, like glass, which it is. I can get it. Cutting it would be a pain, but as you can see, literally crystal clear like glass. Now, the reason I bought this, and I bought 6 sheets of it, isn't to make armoured stuff, is literally for a new stand, and that is for the Star Destroyer, because the Star Destroyer, as lovely as it is sat up there and all the rest of it, if I ever have to show it off or move it or anything else like that, the stand I built for it, which if you remember is the brass rod one, it just doesn't work and doesn't look right. So I'm thinking, by having this, I'm going to make up a box on the bottom, and then these are going to come up, and I'm going to cut little V's in which exactly marry up with what we've got underneath, and then hopefully we'll get some padding in there so it will sit on the top, okay, and it will look a lot more impressive, and maybe have some etching onto this or detailing onto this as well with imperial markings and stuff like that. But it'd be a quick sort of one-day build type thing where I'll whip up a stand for it and for some of the other stuff as well, because the stands are very nice for them, but I think they can be done better. So I thought, right, we'll get some acrylic sheet. Let's face it, I've got all the tools for dealing with it as well now. So we should be able to actually knock something up quite quickly to have a better appearance, better, and also, to be honest, a lot safer. Because when it is on the brass rod thing, it's a bit wobbly on the top. So I'm thinking, yeah, something like this, literally around about this height, so it's nice and high, so you can look underneath, you can see it lit up as well with the bays and the bits and pieces and things like that. So that is the reason for buying that. And I've had a load of other deliveries of other stuff, which is stuff that's going to make an appearance over the next couple of weeks with various projects that I've got in, including a new keyboard, because my keyboard for my computer decided to blow up the other day, so I've pinched one from upstairs for the minute. Okay, so there we go, that's about it from today. I've got to do all the orders and the bits and pieces, and I'll catch you on tonight's vlog. So there you go, quite a busy day, and to bring you bang up to date on this one, I might just grab the little digicam here. If I can get it to go. So as you can see, cockpit basically all done now. The seat, a little bit of a tight squeeze fitting it in there, but it's all in there. These guys, the reason they're sort of hanging around like this, I'm actually going to have them hanging on the outside of the cockpit, so I don't want to bend them all around too much at the moment, but they can just fit generally down in there. This guy as well worked an absolute treat. It came out fantastic, as you saw earlier, the little clip from that before. That looks really, really nicely. But generally, I know it's very difficult to see on these things, it worked really, really well. No problems with it at all. We've gone through all the techniques, exactly how to do it, all the different finishes and everything else like that, but really happy how that one came out. So that is going to be up with you on Monday, okay? So what's going to happen is, obviously it's bank holiday, we're just going to put this part up, probably a little bit from me, I'll still be working, okay, and everything else like that, but it's generally fantastic and very nice. Then we're going to work on the engine, as we said, and it'll be a separate part. This, I've got no idea how long the part might be. It might be 20 minutes, it may be 40 minutes, it might be an hour, I don't know yet, until I actually edit it all together. But instead of just being 30-minute sections, it's going to be the whole section on detailing the cockpit. Then the next part will obviously be all about detailing an engine, doing the wheel wells, we've got the gun bay to do, and all the separate things before we get it together as a whole. So it's going to be slightly different from that sort of 30-minute format that we've done for, you know, the last 10 years and everything else. So it's going to be slightly, yeah, hopefully more informative, so you can just skip to, if you wanted to, engines, or you skip together to cockpits and all things like that. Anyway, looking very, very good, really, really enjoying it and everything else. Tomorrow I'm going to finish off the airliner. I've done pretty much all the editing for it now and everything else like that, so you're going to get that part tomorrow. It's going to complete. There won't be a review tomorrow because, to be honest, my stuff hasn't arrived that I was hoping for, as you saw in the vlog, so it's due in tomorrow. So in the meantime, I'm going to crack on, so you're actually going to get another video build up this week, so it'll be 3 this week, which will be finishing off the Thompson's airliner. Speaking of which, obviously today is going to be the completion of the Halifax. Now, because of all the mess here, you can get a little video here. Thoroughly enjoyed it, a great build. It was one of those things, to be honest, I say thoroughly enjoyed it. No, I lost my mojo right in the middle of the build. Wasn't happy with the way it was going, wasn't very happy with it at all, but it turned out fantastic. We used loads of different techniques on this one before. Sanding back, wash and paint to give different effects and finishes. This model, don't forget, has never had an overcoat. It's never been glossed, satin or finished. That is generally the paint finish at the end of it, okay, right the way through. So thoroughly enjoyed doing that one. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to leave you with the final reveal section of that one. A little bit different to the normal way we do it, I know, but we'll see how this one works so you can get a feel for it, my comments about it, and then obviously the final video at the end instead of still photos. I think it's a bit more warts and all, if you like, with that one. So there we go, that's it from me, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. Okay, and there we go. Well, what can we say? It's been a trying kit, shall we say, and to be honest, I did lose my mojo halfway through. Initially, I thought it was going to be great. It was new tool. It's, you know, a brand new kit out, so I was expecting it to have no real fit issues and everything else like that. Very quickly, we learnt that we got a few problems, i.e. the intakes and the prop spinners are all completely the wrong one for this one. So we went out and we got an aftermarket set for it. Great, no problem at all. We upgraded the internals because we bought the photo etch set for it as well. So we got a photo etch colour set in the cockpit area and some details around the front and all of those. That took care of some of the missing details, shall we say, in there. Then we got stuck into the actual build and we learned that actually the instructions are terrible because it would have you build it in completely the wrong order and doesn't tell you anything about the different versions in it until, like me, it was too late and I had already put the wrong front on it, so I ended up having to cut that off and then put the correct one in. Some of the details themselves right the way over this kit are horrible, i.e. that the mid-upper turret back here is completely the wrong shape, design and everything. I don't know what they were looking at, but it looks like a radar stuck on the top rather than a gun turret that is part of the actual aircraft itself. The way that the front turret doesn't fit in whatsoever unless you're going to build it around it and everything else like that. Again, a very silly mistake, I think, by Revell doing it that way. You have to cut it off to make it fit in there. And that was the story with a lot of this one, is throwing away the instructions really, starting again and, you know, working your way through as best as you can on your own to correct some of the problems with the actual kit. Generally though, I have to say, fit of things like the engine, the cells going on there, the wings, the tailplane, planes and everything else like that was not a problem. The bomb bay, though, is a different story. That is a nightmare start to finish. It's nothing representative of the real aircraft. There's loads of faults down there. The way that it swings in and goes in, the outer doors should flare slightly. They don't, and generally it's a bit of a mess down in there. Right the way through to the weapons fit, the bomb fit, I still don't think it's correct now, and it's one of those things I sort of shy away from. The build itself, though, actually went very, very well. We used new techniques on this one. So actually with this one, we went in there and we used something that we've never shown before, and that was sanding off of the actual wash. Okay, so the wash being put in down there and sanding it off with the paint, okay, worked exceptionally well. It gave us what we wanted, which was that very nice flat look underneath the entire model, which was something that we were trying to sort of recreate. Very difficult working with black, but hopefully we've shown a good way of doing it. The paint itself stood up exceptionally well to being sanded, considering I thought it was going to be one of the bad paints to use, because this particular one, if I can find it here, we used the AK interactive paints, which I had struggled with on previous builds. This time, new technique, thin coats, build them up over 3 or 4 coats. We had no problem with it at all. We also then went round and we've used washes on it, we've used oils on it, we've used various chipping effects on it to go around and give us a scuffed up model, and hopefully at the end of the day recreate what I think is quite an accurate look of that particular era. The glass work, things like that, yeah, okay, they do fit, they go in there quite well. I don't know, am I happy with it? Not 100%. If I was come back and do this kit, I would do it a lot different, obviously, but it's one of those things with all modelling, hindsight is a lovely thing, but when you're dealing with a kit where the instructions are very much, I think, an afterthought. Okay, so you're going to make mistakes going through those and things like that, and trying to work your way through the entire build. If those were, I think, better, you'd be better planned and everything else like that. But I'm hoping Revell have redone all their instructions, because it looks like there's a new box art for this thing, and I'm hoping it comes with the new type instructions, which are more CAD-like than cartoon-like, shall we say, and everything else like that. It's been a great build. I've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, join me again next time.